Hello there, my fellow flames, and welcome back to another Wuthering Waves video. My name is Amethyst, and today we are going to be talking about version 3.6 because, as you may or may not know, version 3.6's live stream is happening this Friday, and it's very exciting. I'm very excited because with version 3.6, we are getting two brand new characters, being Xiao, who I'm very much looking forward to, and we're also getting Gran, which I know a lot of people, including myself, are looking forward to because he is the first new male character since Luke, which was way back in 3.1. And on top of both of those new characters releasing, it looks like we are going to be continuing the Meng Xiao arc and traveling to some new distant place because, as you can see in the poster of the version 3.6 preview special broadcast, it looks like we have some really cool mechanical spaceship, starship looking things going either through a portal or potentially even a gate of some kind, which is open for us to travel through, taking us to another part of the region where it could be Meng Xiao, it could be the New Federation, it could be somewhere else. We genuinely don't know at this present moment in time, so I'm very intrigued in seeing what this whole picture is and why they've chosen this picture specifically to promote the new version 3.6 preview special program. But if we go back in time, if we go back to version 3.5, I know some people really loved the story of 3.5, some people didn't like the story of 3.5, some people thought it was an amazing introduction, an amazing piece of writing, and there was some other people that thought the complete opposite. They didn't think it was good writing and they didn't think it was a good introduction. I think it's a good introduction. I don't think it's the best introduction. I don't think it tops something like Renacita, but I think it was definitely a good introduction to a brand new region. But also, it was an element of nostalgia because we came back to Huanglong for the first time since 1.0, and we've actually met the old characters again, and also we're going to a new part of Huanglong that's going into Meng Xiao, and I thought that was something that was really, really good. So people that were fans of 1.0, like myself, could feel that element of nostalgia again, and could feel that nice warm feeling of going back to where the game always began, back to where it all began way back when in 2024 when the game first launched. But yeah, I think that Meng Xiao looks absolutely beautiful. It is arguably some of the best piece of Wuthering Waves visually we've ever seen. It looks absolutely amazing. I think Kuro Games knew exactly what they were doing when designing this part of the region, and when they thought we're going to go back to Huanglong, we want to go back to those sort of like old Chinese post-apocalyptic kind of vibes, because that was the whole point of Huanglong. That was the whole point. It was the lament, and going to Meng Xiao and seeing that we're actually seeing the threat of the Tacit Discords again, and the fact that the machines built and designed to protect humanity from TDs turning against them, it felt very post-apocalyptic again, and I like the fact that we went back to that kind of message and that kind of story. And I think the introduction to every single character in 3.5 was amazing, and especially going into 3.6, Xiao and Gran, I think, had some of the best introduction to characters for future patches. And what I mean by that is they're not being introduced as new characters for this patch, but setting them up for the next patch. I think they did it in such an amazing way because it gets you so interested and intrigued to know who they are. Like when you see Gran walking out of the mist, aura farming, saving Sui Sui and taking her to safety and stuff like that, you want to know who he is. He's mysterious. He says, "I'm the one that you hired." But hired for what? We don't know. We don't know anything. So that was a very good introduction, and I can't see what the hell's going on because I'm stuck in a bush. But anyway, we move, and then obviously at the end, when it's hitting the climax of the patch, when Rover's aura farming and Yang Yang's transforming and everything's going to absolute crazy levels of peak, or whatever the hell you want to call it, then we get Xiao come out of nowhere, and basically, if it wasn't for her, the battle would have been lost. She came down from the heavens with 1,000 blades of judgment and erased the battlefield of all things machinery and TDs. That was another amazing, amazing introduction to a brand new character, which is going to excite people for the next patch. It was incredible, which brings us to version 3.6. What the hell is going to be happening with version 3.6? Well, if you go back to what we saw in the actual poster of version 3.6, I think this scenery here, I think the scenery, if my OBS actually wants to let me, I can't even apparently I can't change windows because my OBS says not today, you can't do that. But essentially what I think is happening is the picture we're seeing at the end isn't happening until the end of the patch. I think we're going to be going through a story in version 3.6, which is going to be led by Jing Gran and led by Xiao. And I think what's happening at the end of the patch is what we're going to be seeing with the starship-looking machineries going through this gateway, portal, whatever you want to call it. And I think that is where it's going to lead us into the full rest of the region of Mingzhou, or that could even lead us to the New Federation. For all intents and purposes, the main arc has been concluded in 3.0. The main 3.0 arc was about Lahai Roy and taking down a Therodian, and this is like the epilogue. This is like the epilogue. We went to a new part of Huanglong to chase Yang Yang. There was no immediate threat until we got there. By the way, one of the theories is one of the new units, the redhead one, is going to be a puppet master, and she's going to be like the sister of Yinlin, and Yinlin could make a return, and people are very intrigued and excited about that. Now, I don't know how true that is. It is just a theory, but it could be true. But I think it's very interesting to take into account, and I think it's something to definitely get excited about, because if we do see Yinlin again, absolute huge piece of nostalgia for old school players and day one players, because we haven't seen these characters since 1.0. Seeing these characters again come back from the olden days of Wuthering Waves, so to speak, is absolutely incredible. The story that we're going to be experiencing is going to be surrounding this idea of introducing a new villain, and maybe we're going to be now creating and supporting the Zhuangfeng Hold create these machines and create these starships, and in order for us to go through this portal, which is going to take us to either New Federation or potentially even the next part of the region of Huanglong, whether it's continuing Mengzhou or something else. Because if you remember, Yang Yang's second awakening was not like a regular second awakening, and we even saw in like the Segway quest, maybe the New Federation has the technology to discover what's going on with Yang Yang. And Yang Yang's now going to be a pivotal point and a pivotal character in the remaining of the story for as long as we go. She's going to be sticking around. She's going to be part of the main team. It's now not going to be just Abby and Rover. It's going to be Yang Yang, Abby, and Rover. And that's something that I think a lot of people have been waiting for, considering that Yang Yang has always been the poster girl of Wuthering Waves. I think we're going to be seeing a lot more teasing of the new villains. I don't think it's going to be a Therodian. We're in Huanglong. The main Therodian of Huanglong is Overthrax, and Overthrax got banished back to the Shadow Realm and is now chilling in his purple cocoon until he reawakens, because we know Geshu Lin is a looming threat because he is the Therodian's resonator of Huanglong. He is the Overthrax resonator. We know this because Shu Yuan told us so. So he's a looming threat that is obviously going to make an appearance hopefully soon, but we don't know. Sheen, another Sentinel, is still around. We need to figure out what's going on with Sheen. Sheen is trapped somewhere, and we need to try and find out where Sheen is, and maybe this portal is going to take us to the next part of the region, which is going to be revealing where Sheen is. So it's going to be very interesting going in to this 3.6 update, speculating, theorizing, wondering where the story is going to take us. It's been a while since I've done one of these videos, but I wanted to talk about it because I've actually really been enjoying Wuthering Waves as of late. Wuthering Waves kind of lost me through Lahai Roy. I didn't really like the Lahai Roy arc, other than a few patches. 3.1 was peak, 3.3 was really, really good, but other than those two updates, I didn't really think 3.x was that amazing. So it's going to be very interesting and also exciting seeing how this plot unfolds. But anyway, guys, hopefully this video was enjoyable. Hopefully you guys enjoyed what I had to say, and hopefully you guys, while watching, were theorizing and typing in the comments your own theories. But anyway, guys, that's all from me. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe if you are new, and I will see you in the next one. Take it easy and have a good rest of your day.